Hey my nosy neighbors, welcome to the vibrant streets of Kansas City, where the city's heartbeat mixes with the laughter, shade, and the uncertainties of small city dating. It's time to catch up with our homegirl Mia, that fly cool chick who is navigating the wild world of love and self-discovery. During this story you may find yourself wondering if love has ever had you doing some crazy things. Mia is our friend and we are going to stick beside her as we strap in for this captivating dating series, not just to point fingers or judge her crazy and low vibration moves, but to vibe with her and see the common missteps that can trip up even the best of us. Through her ups and downs, we will gain wisdom and insight, learning and growing alongside her. Because that's what real friends do. So get ready for a journey filled with laughter, heartbreaks, and the drama of bad timing, late-night phone searches, and navigating love in a digital age. Will Mia finally find love, or is this another one for the lesson books? For those who need a quick recap, let's reintroduce Mia. She's a vibrant African-American woman in her 20s, athletic and fiercely independent, confidently strutting through life. Though on the outside she exudes confidence, inside, she battles the scars of her past. Mia faced a rough upbringing and entered adulthood prematurely, yet she remains committed to breaking the generational curses of loneliness and heartache that linger in her life. Recently, she returned from a girls' trip to Mexico, an adventure meant for relaxation that spiraled into chaos when they narrowly escaped a kidnapping. The shadows of this experience weigh heavily on her as she contemplates her future. The question that is constantly on her mind is, can love truly thrive amidst such uncertainty? After her turbulent breakup with Lester, Mia seeks solace. While the trip to Mexico was meant for laughter and fun, the trauma casts a shadow over her thoughts. Life is short and tomorrow is never promised. Something we say, but never truly grasp, until we are faced with the reality of it. Sometimes tomorrow doesn't come for people, dreams, or sadly love. Mia and her friends unwind by the poolside in Kansas City, laughing and sharing dreams under the warm sun. As they indulge in fruity drinks, while enjoying the freedom, Mia realizes it's time to focus on self-love. She begins becoming intentional with planning romantic dinners with herself. But amid the love of self-company and peace, Mia wonders if she is truly prepared for what love has in store next. One sultry evening, Mia rolls up to a hole-in-the-wall club off 75th and Troost, a spot she often hits up for good vibes. This place is a local gem where the rhythm of live music wraps around you like a warm embrace. The dim lighting creates a cozy atmosphere, and the mouth-watering aroma of fried chicken fills the air, making it impossible to resist grabbing a bite. With an older crowd kicking back, Mia feels right at home walking in solo, no judgment here. Just folks looking to unwind with great tunes and even better drinks. She leans against the bar, sipping on her cocktail, soaking in the energy of the lively scene. The dance floor is buzzing with people smoothly two-stepping, laughter mixing with the beat of the music. It's a beautiful sight. While Mia definitely has two left feet when it comes to dancing, she loves watching the crowd move in sync, their joy contagious. There's something about these moments that makes her feel alive, as she enjoys her drink and the warmth of the connections around her. Just as she thinks about calling it a night, a guy with some impressive moves catches her eye. Is this the spark she's been waiting for, or just another twist in her journey, or did she have one too many Long Island iced teas? They vibe over light conversation amidst the buzz of laughter and music, their voices dancing playfully in the air. Mia feels the chemistry sparking between them. The way he looks at her, with that light, lustful gaze that sends a thrill through her. His name is Henry, smooth as silk and dripping with that effortless charm. He's got this swag that just pulls her in, making her feel like she's the only one who matters in that moment. With the drinks flowing and her confidence boosted, Mia finds herself feeling a little tipsy, open to the flirtation swirling around them. She can tell Henry is feeling more than just their conversation. There's an undeniable vibe that's hard to ignore. But she knows better than to rush in. She's learned to keep it cool and not jump in headfirst. After sharing laughs and some playful banter, they exchange numbers. Mia feels a flicker of hope, a desire for something real, but she's not here for the drama. Past experiences have taught her to take her time. While she's interested, she won't allow herself to get swept away. Even as she sizes him up and acknowledges that he might be a player, she can't help but melt just a bit. Henry's charisma and game are hard to resist, and the thrill of what he represents, a tantalizing possibility, makes her heart race. But let's keep it real for a second, you gotta be careful. Looks aren't always what pull you in. Sometimes, you might find yourself drawn to someone whose charisma is just plain hypnotizing. Ever dated someone, and after that hypnotic spell wears off, you look at them and think, wow, how did I even get here? Suddenly, they seem so dang unattractive that you don't even want to share that chapter of your life. Maybe it's just me, but I digress. So, back to the story. After several cozy dates and deep conversations that flowed like their undeniable chemistry, Mia felt like she and Henry were building something special. So when Valentine's Day rolled around, they decided to elevate their dating game with a night out at a concert. Mia was excited. This was not just a casual hangout. This was a chance to publicly showcase their growing connection. As they entered the venue, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation, love palpable in the air. Couples filled the space, swaying to the sultry voice of Anthony Hamilton, and Mia couldn't help but feel like a queen, rocking a stunning gold dress that hugged her curves just right, paired with heels that gave her an extra boost of confidence. Henry couldn't take his eyes off her, it was written all over his face. She noticed how captivated he was, from the way he couldn't keep his hands off her to the way his gaze lingered whenever they shared a laugh. They snapped selfies, capturing the moment, the glow of the lights reflecting off their smiles. Ladies, you know that feeling when you're out and can tell other women are looking at you, not with envy, but in a, you go, girl, kind of way. And fellas, you know that vibe when you've got a fine woman on your arm, and all the other dudes are giving you that look like, how do you bag that? That was the type of energy radiating through the venue that night. Mia understood they were just in the dating phase, but everything felt incredibly right. They were taking it slow, enjoying these shared experiences, but there was no denying the chemistry brewing between them. Each moment felt significant, and Mia had high hopes this could lead to something real. As they swayed together, lost in the music and the magic of the night, she couldn't help but think about the memories they were building, each one a step in the right direction. They were collecting experiences, creating a connection that felt genuine, and for the first time in a while, Mia allowed herself to dream of where this could go. Could this be the start of something beautiful, or just another fleeting moment in her journey? After an unforgettable night at the concert, Mia and Henry hopped into his car, excitement still buzzing in the air. But as the drive home progressed, Mia couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Henry seemed uneasy, glancing down at his phone every few minutes, the notifications lighting up the screen like fireworks. Yo, what's going on with your phone? She asked, trying to keep the mood light, but the tension was evident. At first, Henry shrugged it off, tossing out a casual, oh, it's nothing, but Mia wasn't buying it. She pressed a little more, her curiosity piqued. After a moment of hesitation, he finally confessed, one of my ex-girlfriend's friends saw us at the concert, and now she's blowing me up. Mia felt a knot twist in her stomach. She didn't want to ruin the evening, but the weight of his words loomed heavy. As they drove through the streets, she sensed the conversation brewing beneath the surface, and she couldn't help but push a bit further. Wait, what do you mean, blowing you up? This ain't a simple misunderstanding, is it? Henry let out a sigh, clearly distressed. Honestly, it's messy. My ex, Becky with the good hair, can't let go. Even though we broke up, she's been lurking. And now that she knows I'm serious about you, she's gotten serious about her. Let's call it stalking. The air in the car felt thick as Mia processed this information. Suddenly, she realized Henry was leading both women on, navigating a web of conflicting loyalties. After what felt like an eternity of back-and-forth conversation, it became clear that Becky with the good hair had found Mia's number and reached out to her. Mia remembers texting back and forth before finally venturing into a phone conversation with Becky. It didn't take long for Mia to learn that Henry wasn't as innocent as she thought. He was definitely seeing both of them, and Becky wasn't about sisterhood. She was all about that, by any means necessary, I'ma get mine, mentality. You think you've got him all to yourself, but I'm not giving him up, Becky had said, her voice dripping with possessiveness and determination. When Mia confronted Henry about it, he denied everything at first. But the truth eventually came out. He was confused and couldn't choose between the two of them. Mia took a deep breath, internalizing his admission. That's fine, she said, her voice steady. I can't do this. I'm okay with us not seeing each other anymore. Henry acted like he was cool with that, but Mia could sense the tension in the air. After an awkward silence, he turned back to her, desperation creeping into his eyes. Wait, I want to focus on us. I'll get rid of everyone else, he promised, trying to negotiate his way back into her good graces. This moment felt pivotal, but Mia couldn't shake the feeling that Henry would forget this promise. The shadows of his past loomed large, and she had to wonder if she was ready to dive back in. As Mia balanced her demanding job, often taking her out of town, she began to pick up on some unsettling patterns in Henry's behavior. Whenever she was away on a work trip, his response to her phone calls shifted. The late-night chats they once enjoyed started to dwindle, replaced by eerie silences. It was like he would disappear off the grid, leaving Mia feeling anxious and questioning what was really going on. Each time she tried reaching out, his phone would go to voicemail, and the familiar worry would creep in, gnawing at the edges of her mind. The red flags were waving like crazy, and deep down, she felt something brewing. But even as those suspicions grew louder, Mia's toxic trait reared its head. She was the queen of hoping for the best, even when everything around her was on fire. Her heart wanted to believe in the good, despite the smoke and mirrors. So, she convinced herself to stick it out and not jump to conclusions. After all, every relationship has its challenges, right? Every little sign, every missed call felt like a bitter reminder of her past, but Mia chose to push through, holding on to the hope that things would settle and get back to that sweet spot they had found. But with each passing day, the tension between her hope and reality grew harder to ignore. This wasn't just a phase, it was becoming a cycle of confusion and worry, leaving her to wonder if she was getting herself tangled in another situation she couldn't control. Lying in bed that night, the sound of Henry's phone ringing pulled Mia from her thoughts. Curiosity gnawed at her as the persistent vibration disrupted the calm of the night. Despite her better judgment, she picked up the phone, answering the call. On the other end, a woman's voice greeted her, a voice that dripped with confidence but lacked warmth. "I know you're dating Henry," the woman said, her tone cold and unyielding. "But just so you know, he's not just seeing you." Mia's heart raced. There was a moment of disbelief hanging in the air. She suspected he might have been seeing someone else, but another woman? And this wasn't even Becky with the good hair. The revelation hit her like a slap, shocking her to her core. As Mia listened, the woman's demeanor held no sympathy. She casually mentioned other women, revealing that Henry had been playing the field. The more Mia absorbed, the more the sinking feeling in her stomach deepened. This wasn't just a casual fling, it was a whole roster of women vying for Henry's attention. This unsettling conversation sparked Mia's curiosity, igniting a fire in her that she couldn't ignore. With a mix of dread and determination, she did what everyone warns you against. She decided to go through his phone. Yes, I know some of you are gasping right now. But when the evidence is right in front of you, it's not searching, it's self-preservation. Mia knew she wasn't being stupid, she was fighting for clarity. As she scrolled through Henry's messages, her worst fears were confirmed. She found conversations with up to 10 different women, and at least 8 of those exchanges were intimate, much more intimate than she ever wanted to imagine. Heartbroken and devastated, Mia felt the weight of betrayal crash down on her like a tidal wave. What do you do when feelings seem to mean nothing against the hard evidence of infidelity? Mia was utterly shattered, and what started as a late-night phone call spiraled into her worst nightmare, revealing the truth lurking behind the facade of her relationship. Torn between snatching him up out of his sleep right then and there or letting him finish his rest since he had to work in the morning, Mia chose the latter. Allowing him to sleep gave her the time she needed to gather her emotions and process everything. She would wait until morning to confront Henry, and when she did, it would be on her terms. They were up early that morning, the sun creeping through the curtains as Henry scrambled to get ready for work. But Mia had other plans. She couldn't let the night's revelations slide. She needed to confront him about the late-night phone call and the messages she'd seen on his phone. As he hurriedly pulled on his shirt, Mia steeled herself, balancing anger and heartbreak. "We need to talk about last night," she said, her voice steady but strained. Henry immediately bristled, his defensiveness kicking in like a reflex. "What about it?" he snapped, avoiding her gaze. Mia pressed on, laying it all out, how she heard the other woman, the conversations, the whole mess. But instead of owning up to anything, Henry turned it back on her. He began gaslighting her, insisting it was her fault for going through his phone. "You shouldn't have invaded my privacy," he told her dismissively. As the conversation escalated, Mia couldn't believe what she was hearing. "I feel like you forced me into this relationship in the first place." "I wasn't ready," he concluded, his words sharp and cutting. Can you imagine how difficult it is when someone you care about dismisses your feelings and twists the narrative? It's one thing for someone to ignore the red flags and willingly be played, but it's a whole other ballgame when another adult gaslights you and takes zero responsibility for their lack of loyalty. Henry's words stung deep, shattering Mia's heart all over again. She had hoped for honesty and vulnerability, but instead, she was met with denial and blame. This wasn't just a disagreement, it was a deal-breaker. She knew she would have to walk away, but some things are easier said than done, especially when emotions are tangled with hope. As Henry rushed out the door, Mia felt the weight of her decision settle in her chest. It was time to face the truth. Love shouldn't come with this level of pain. Mia decided it was time for a fresh start. Life had thrown enough punches her way, and she was tired of the lingering pain and betrayal that clouded her world. It was like walking through heavy fog, where the once vibrant colors of her life were muted by doubt and heartache. But deep down, she felt a whisper: God would always send you a lifeline, you just have to be willing to take it. Sometimes, we ignore the paths laid out for us because fear tightens its grip. But this time, Mia wasn't scared. She was ready to embrace change. Her job offered her a relocation package, and without hesitation, she packed up her things, determined to leave the past behind. The support she had thought was solid had crumbled. Friends who she believed would stand by her had instead sided with Henry, seeing her pain as a personal flaw. And then there was Becky with the good hair, still messaging her with threats wrapped in intimate details of what was happening between her and Henry, boasting about how she wasn't going anywhere. Mia knew it was true. Becky had information that only someone close would have. Those late-night drives past Henry's house became all too familiar, her heart racing as she attempted to piece together what was really going on. Every unanswered call and late-night rendezvous deepened her resolve to move away. Yet, inside, Mia battled herself, wanting to escape, but still yearning for the comfort of what was familiar. Even as she relocated, believing she was closing that chapter, she found herself making frequent trips back to her hometown on weekends. She dubbed it her Henry fix, a way to feel the thrill of their connection one more time, hoping against hope that something would change. But despite telling herself she was done with Henry, she still found herself in his bed from time to time, caught in the comfortable rhythm of their past. As reality would have it, Henry had not learned from his mistakes or missed her enough to change his ways. Instead, he added to his catalog of women, amplifying the drama in Mia's life. Her world began to spiral. Her car got keyed, friendships faded into the background noise, and she slipped deeper into a dark place of depression. The struggle was real, and with each passing day, she felt the weight of disappointment heavier than before. Why did it have to be this way? All she wanted was love, yet it had morphed into a battlefield of hurt and confusion. In the quiet moments, she wondered if she'd ever truly find the peace she craved or if she was destined to endure this struggle. Mia found herself at a pivotal crossroads, caught between the suffocating weight of depression and a version of love that was slowly killing her spirit. The struggle was real. Her heart was still tangled in the memories of who she thought Henry was, but the reality of the betrayal was a heavy fog she couldn't see through. She realized that holding on to something that no longer serves a purpose doesn't just hurt, it becomes a weight that drags you under. And that is a lesson Mia learned the hardest way possible. Now, I know a lot of y'all sitting on the edge of your seats right now. We're so used to these stories ending with a perfectly wrapped up fairy tale, where the boy changes, the girl heals, and they ride off into the sunset. But let's keep it 100. That ain't how real life goes. Sometimes, the story doesn't end in a wedding. Sometimes, it ends in a wreck. And that's exactly where we're leaving it for now. But don't get it twisted. This is only the beginning of the end of Mia and Henry. The surface has barely been scratched. Because when you stop holding on to what's toxic, you make room for something divine. Mia is about to embark on a spiritual reckoning that's gonna give her a power and a strength like no other. She's about to find herself, and trust me, you don't want to miss that transformation. We want to thank y'all for tuning in and rocking with us through the drama. If this story resonated with you, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Drop a comment and let us know if we're doing this thing right, or if there's anything you feel like we should change. Your feedback helps us grow. And remember, you are never alone in these dating streets. We're all just out here trying to live, learn, and grow from each other's mistakes with no judgment. Thank you for listening, and we'll see y'all in part 2, when things get real.